There seems to be no end to the misery and suffering of thousands of migrant workers. Those who were traveling on Shramik special trains to East UP and Bihar have complained of inordinate delays and unhygienic conditions on board, saying that there's no food to drink or water or there's no food or water available. Some complain that there's no water in the toilets as well. They're even resorting to protests along the route by blocking railway tracks and demanding accountability. Now, workers on board one such train going from Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh to Bihar blocked the railway tracks and raised Nitish Kumar Murdabad slogans on the tracks after their train was held up at the outer signal of the Deen Dayal Upadhyay railway junction for over 10 hours. Another train from Panvel in Maharashtra to East UP's Jaunpur was held up near Varanasi for over 10 hours. Late-night visuals showed angry migrant workers squatting on the railway tracks and refusing to budge despite another train approaching. The railway police had to intervene, and finally everyone on board was given a meal and the train finally resumed its journey. And migrants fought over food at the Kanpur railway station, where a Shramik train going from Gujarat to Bihar had stopped. During the fight, several food packets were wasted. They were hungry and desperate without food or water for several days. Our passengers complained there was no water even in the toilets and that the food being given to them was rotten.
विशाखापट्टनम से आ रहे, रात में 11 बजे से खड़ा है। 2 दिन से खाना पीना कुछ नहीं मिला है। 1500 रुपया किराया लिया जा रहा है।
आप लोग अभी तो क्या किए?
कुछ नहीं, अभी तक तो प्लेटफार्म पे आदमी सब रख दिया, पत्थर पुत्थर, बोले खाना दो, गाड़ी खोलो।
Well, this is not the first time that these Shramik special trains have run into controversy. Initially, there was a big issue about who was actually footing the bill for the migrant workers traveling on these trains, and many had alleged and said that it was wrong that migrant workers were being forced to pay so much money for traveling at this time of distress. This time around, the problem seems to be that many of these trains, particularly those heading to East UP or Bihar, seem to be stuck at one particular time for a long duration, 10 hours, 11 hours, and there is no proper arrangement of food and water, and that's a big issue. For instance, yesterday it was reported from Kanpur that a train heading from Gujarat to Bihar had reached Kanpur 10 hours late, and there was this very distressing soundbite of one migrant worker who said that even if I want to go to the toilet and drink the water there, I can't because there's no water even in the loo. The food that was served to these migrant workers was allegedly rotten, and they threw it away at the Kanpur junction, saying that, look, we're not going to eat this food and die, we'd rather go hungry. And that is something that is a big concern. Why is that happening? Who is responsible for it? Why shouldn't these trains have proper arrangements for food and water at least? And just this morning and yesterday night, 2 more incidents have been reported from eastern UP, where in Mughal Sarai, or Deen Dayal Upadhyay station as it is known right now, it's a very famous station that borders Bihar. You've had a situation where migrant workers have come out on the tracks and they are protesting because the train that was getting them from Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh to Bihar had stopped at one particular signal for over 10 hours, and that train was there. The migrant workers squatted on the tracks. They blocked those tracks and said that we are not going to budge. This is inhuman treatment. And then you had another one, a train going from Maharashtra to East UP's Jaunpur that was shuttled between Kashi, which is a station close to Varanasi, and 1 or 2 more stations for around 7 to 9 hours, again with no arrangements of food and water. So somebody in the railways has to take responsibility for this and also answer questions as to why basic amenities like food and water do not seem to be available on these trains. Also remember that a while ago there were these visuals of some migrant workers reportedly looting stuff from railway platforms where these trains were stopping in desperation because they had no food and water on the trains. It's inexplicable, it's inhuman, and it should stop right now.